Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I'm going to review Dan the Man's favorite racket that he didn't make. Stay tuned. All right, so not the coffee sponsor of the day, but the super thanks sponsor of the day is Terry Calling. Terry simply writes, thanks. Well, thank you, Terry. Thank you for sponsoring this segment. And I will take your funds and buy myself a coffee. All right, which I did. If you want to be my super thanks sponsor of the day, network is super thanks. The little link below, just click it. And you can give as little or as much as you want, and you can help support the channel. If you just want to simply buy me a coffee, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. Thank you all in advance. I appreciate you. All right, so coffee, interesting coffee of the day over at Pete's. I always get the dark roast. It was called Super French Roast, and it said super dark, so it must be super dark, which it is actually. So I actually like this one, Super French Super Dark Roast. For some reason, when I drink anything that's like not dark roast, I start getting this gag effect, and I start coughing and hacking like an old man, which I kind of am, but like, you know, an old man. And everybody tells me or asks me, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, it's a freaking coffee. It's so dry, so acidic. If you drink coffee and you drink dark roast, you know what I'm talking about, okay? And there's less caffeine in the dark anyways. Speaking of dark, we got a little twist going on here. Maybe we should do that. Maybe put a little twist in my coffee. A little lemon twist, you know, from like Beverly Hills Cop days. Remember Bronson Pinchot was like a little bartender in that first Beverly Hills Cop movie? Is it, would you like a little lemon twist in your cappuccino? Yeah, watch it again. You'll know what I'm talking about. I've watched that movie like hundreds of times, so I can quote from that one too. Axel Foley, man, come on. All right. So from Axel Foley to Prince Twistpower. So 97 square inches, black. So this is my man Dan's racket that he lent me because he said this is his favorite racket. Number one on his list. And I was like, I remember we tried the Twistpower 100 maybe a year or more ago, but apparently they came out with a 97. And Dan was like, this is like great. It's maneuverable, it's easy power. And I'm like, if you like it, I gotta try it. I was like, can I borrow that? He's like, sure. I'm like, okay, let's go. So I'm going to take some measurements on this thing before we go out and try it. But I just wanted to quickly show you how this thing is. So a normal racket would just go straight like this, but look at it's curved inwards. I don't know if you could see the curvature, but it kind of goes inwards like that and then goes into this part. And I'm going to turn it over now. You could see that the throat is kind of in this area versus this area. And then on this side, it does the same thing. So it's kind of brought in. So it's twisted in that way, if this was the throat. Interesting. I'll show you the side angle of it like that. When Dan was making his own rackets for us to try and for him to mess with, he said that if he twisted this throat part, that it strengthened it. which is a little interesting to me. I would think that if they did this, that it would alter the flex a bit in here. But yeah, let's take some numbers. Let's take some numbers and see how it actually feels. Strung, this is strung with ALU rough, it looks like. ALU. Let me see what he wrote here. ALU, 55 pounds is what Dan strung it at. 332, all in with the strings. Okay, which is 11.7. Interesting, interesting. Let's see where the balance is on this thing. Don't drop my French roast. All right. Hmm. 320 on the dot, on the balance. It's got good heft, so let's definitely check the swing weight. All right, at the RDC machine. $326, okay. Let's go analyze. All right. Strung weight, definitely on the higher side. Definitely on the higher side. Definitely on the higher side. So those are pretty big numbers. Obviously bigger than a normal 305 gram racket. Check out the beam here. We got pretty thick. Thin. So that twisted thing is about 19 millimeters there. From me swinging this thing around, it kind of feels like that new E-Zone, Yonex E-Zone 98 Tour. It kind of has that kind of feel in my hand. But super excited to try it. Let's take it on the court. All right, so just finished up with the Prince Twistpower 97. This is Dan's favorite racket, Coach Chris, and we know what a mad scientist he is. I think so this is what he told me. When you twist this, you actually strengthen it a bit. Because when he was making rackets himself, he thought about doing the shoulder himself like this. Okay. Because it's supposed to strengthen it a little bit more. Okay. So I don't know what you felt, but yeah. But let's talk about it, Coach Chris.
So I actually, yeah, it's good to see that there are new innovative ways to make rackets. It's always good to see and test them out. But this twist technology didn't really suit me as well. Definitely got power. So when you were hitting through your shots, you definitely get the ball depth and heaviness for it. But you do feel that because of this twist factor that I feel the twist actually in my hand a bit more. So as I was hitting, I definitely felt like my grip was forced a certain way as I was hitting. And again, I could definitely see how that they've got this twist factor going on too as well. But it could be a bit more stable, I think. If I were to compare this racket to anything, it would probably be... actually, it's probably by its own thing. I honestly... It's got power like a pure drive, but I would say it's definitely...
Maybe a 98 pure drive.
Maybe a 98 pure drive.
98, yeah, VS.
Yeah. But again, this thing here is it's throwing me off specifically in terms of when I was swinging through it, it would just kind of twist out of my hand a bit more. So maybe it just doesn't match my swing pattern enough, but I would have to probably give it a go a few more times to, give a bit more of a review on it.
So when he first hit with it, like maybe 35 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, he was saying it's twisting, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, at impact, it's actually twisting. So, and I'm like, that's what it's supposed to do. That's why it's called twist.
Oh, it's weird.
Just kidding. But yeah, this is supposed to actually make it more rigid, and that's kind of what I felt when. I mean, my swing path is different than your swing path. So, I mean, I hold it like this and I come up on the ball. For me, when I struck the ball, it actually kind of twisted in the right way. Like I felt it firm up. This is definitely a pretty stiff racket for being a 97. And I think this twisted throat adds to that. So it says power level is 820. That's still kind of low on their spectrum. But I feel that the weight and the balance here like plows through pretty easily. So for my swing path, it actually works. I thought I was able to get decent amount of power with it, good amount of feel, but it just probably didn't work for your type of swing, let's say.
Yeah.
So, but I can understand why this is Dan's favorite racket. It's very unique, but I think in a good way, though, in a good way. All right, Coach Chris. Thank you for testing it out with me. Unfortunately, this won't be your new racket, I guess.
Nope.
Okay. Coach Chris, where can I find you?
You can find me at CB Chen Tennis.
And
that's it.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.
What the hell? Harry! Harry!
What? Is that you?
Yeah! What's going on? What are you doing here?
I got stuck.
You're too squishy!
Come on, little dude.
I'm working at it.
Come on.
Oh, man!